Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video we take a look at everything you need to know about Dark Deception, Monsters and Mortals. You may be asking, what is this game and how does it relate to the original ongoing Dark Deception? So let's start with a quick breakdown of what this new game is all about. Monsters and Mortals is a new game in the Dark Deception universe by developer Glowstick Entertainment, with a focus on both solo and team-based multiplayer gameplay. As the title suggests, we take on the role of either a monster or a mortal, and objectives differ depending on the faction selected. For example, while playing as a team of 3 mortals, our task is to collect enough soul shards to open the exit portal and then get out of there before we are caught. When playing as the monster, things are even simpler, just kill the mortal team before they open the exit. This is the core game mode and is known as Maze Escape. A second mode is also launching with the game, and this one is a kind of mini battle royale of sorts. Dubbed Shard Mayhem, in this mode it's every monster or mortal for themselves as we race to collect and hold as many soul shards as inhumanly possible before the timer runs out. Shards are spawned in waves and can be stolen from other players along the way. Whoever holds the most shards by the end of a round wins. Further modes are planned down the line according to project director Vince Livings, however little is known or confirmed about these additional scenarios at this time. While some fans have raised concerns about Monsters and Mortals taking valuable development time away from Dark Deception Chapter 4 and 5, this is an incorrect conclusion to jump to. Monsters and Mortals has been a labour of love by the development team at Glowstick, who have been working away on this multiplayer game during lulls in development of Chapter 4. Times where they waited on contractors or reached roadblocks in the creation of the main game have been used to create this new title, rather than the team twiddling their thumbs or, actually taking vacation. In fact, Chapter 4 is scheduled to launch just a little after Monsters and Mortals, so there's plenty of Dark Deception goodness coming our way over the next few months. With this information in mind, it should be noted that the development of Monsters and Mortals was far less time consuming than Dark Deception Chapter 4 and 5. This is because the majority of assets for the stages and characters at launch were already created and carried over from the original Dark Deception. Therefore, many of the stages we will explore while stalking our prey or fleeing in terror will be familiar to players of the base game. However, there still are some exciting new additions, so let's move on to look at the ever-growing roster of characters available within Monsters and Mortals. As mentioned earlier, many of the characters selectable in Monsters and Mortals are familiar faces. Monsters include Murder Monkey, Agatha, the Gold Watcher, the Dread Ducky, Clown Gremlin, and evil overlord himself, Malak. As these appeared in Chapter 1 to 3 of Dark Deception, we can choose to play as them in this new multiplayer experience too, although their attack patterns may be slightly different to avoid breaking the game. For example, the Gold Watcher will be able to move regardless of whether we stare at him or not. This is to prevent a member of the mortal team from glaring at him while their friends quickly collect up all the shards. It would be a little unfair, right? With that in mind, it will be interesting to see what changes are made to certain monsters and their movesets to compensate. While characters from the upcoming Chapter 4 will not be included in the launch build of Monsters and Mortals, they will be implemented for free as future chapters unlock, meaning that you can play as your favourite Chapter 4 and 5 monsters via future patches, including the Joy Joy Gang themselves. But let's not forget we can take control of Mortals too. At launch, these will include Beus and Doug. Now, up to this point in time, Doug Hauser has been a disembodied name with a dark and tragic backstory, but come the launch of Monsters and Mortals, we'll know exactly what he looks like. Not only that, we can also expect a host of exciting updates and additional characters to appear over the coming months. These include, on the Mortal side, the developers themselves. Recently, game director Vince Livings posted concept art of himself, art director Penn Livings, and lead programmer Nixon, all of whom will be playable on the Mortal side. In fact, we can get a sneak peek of what these concepts will look like when translated into the game via Pen's online portfolio, which includes a full 3D render of her in-game avatar. It's highly detailed and will be fantastic seeing the whole team in action during gameplay. However, it isn't just existing Dark Deception creations and personalities who will make an appearance in this upcoming game. Vince recently commented during a Q&A event over on the Glowstick YouTube channel that Monsters and Mortals will be used as a test bed for new creature designs. If they prove successful and well received, these brand new monsters may even show up in future Dark Deception games. Take a listen to exactly what Vince had to say.
Will we see unique bosses in Monsters and Mortals? Yes, I think one of the great things about Monsters and Mortals is that it lets us kind of expand the Dark Deception universe with characters that are not going to be in like Dark Deception 1. It allows us to kind of test out new ideas, new characters, and new environments, and make them part of the Dark Deception universe, but they may appear in future Dark Deception games or they may not. Just in the current launch build, there's already 2 new bosses, and we're going to keep adding new ones.
So, Monsters and Mortals will be a great place to see new ideas tested out by the developers, but the most exciting prospect of all is surely the crossovers planned post-launch. Many players have asked to see Dark Deception collaborate with other horror game developers, bringing their monsters into Glowstick's frantic universe. You may remember that a collaboration between Yandere Dev and Glowstick is in the works for the side project Ayano's Lovesick Labyrinth. Before that releases, we will get a chance to play as Senpai and Yandere Dev on the mortal side, and Ayano on the monster side. Another confirmed crossover is with indie developer Team Junkfish and their stealth horror game Monstrum. 2 monsters from Monstrum will be represented, the Brute and the Fiend. The final crossover we know about is popular mobile horror game Evil Nun. What's noteworthy here is the fact that Glowstick is teaming up with the creators of Evil Nun, Keplerians, to develop a remake using Unreal Engine 4. In return, Evil Nun will appear as a monster in Dark Deception, while the Lost Child will join the mortal side. I'm not sure when these DLC characters will be available, but it should be mentioned that unlike the characters created by Glowstick, they will be paid content due to additional licensing fees for the developer. There are 8 DLC collaborations planned currently, and we only know about 3 of them, so it's exciting to imagine which other horror game characters may appear in Monsters and Mortals in the future, especially as the game's Twitter account recently posted the following: "We haven't brought out the big guns yet." Another exciting prospect comes with the inclusion of boss characters. Recently, a new piece of music was uploaded to the Glowstick YouTube channel. This composition was titled Pizza Time and was confirmed to be a boss theme by Vince during the Q&A.
Monsters and Mortals is a little bit different. There's not a story or any kind of events that play out as you play. It just throws you right into the multiplayer action, and the bosses are part of that. When you get the boss item, to activate the bosses, they activate, and then it becomes part of the environmental hazard of the level.
After collecting a specific power-up during gameplay, we activate a boss encounter to terrorize other players throughout the stage. Of course, we won't know exactly how these boss encounters work until Monsters and Mortals releases. So, with that said, when can we check the game out? Well, 1,000 lucky players will have access to the beta, currently planned for October 16th. Sign-up details have not been published at time of writing, but we have been told beta codes will be available on a first-come, first-served basis via sign-up. So keep your eyes peeled and follow the official Twitter account for the latest news. The full game is currently slated to launch for everyone at the end of the month on October 29th, so those who do miss out on the beta won't have to hold out for too long to experience a final game. I will be covering Monsters and Mortals and its future updates here on the channel, so remember to subscribe and turn on those notifications to be updated as soon as my coverage goes live. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and comment down below to let me know which Monster and Mortal you're most excited to play as. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.